Hey, 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 hey. Good evening, my beautiful butterflies and fly guys. Listen, I know you guys have been watching the game, but we decided to come to you tonight. I know maybe your team won, maybe your team didn't, but we wanted to come to you tonight because we know the holidays are upon us and everyone's going to be doing what they do during this Memorial Day holiday coming up. But listen, we want to get right into tonight's discussion. So without pause, let's get to it. Now, I don't know if you are familiar with popular YouTuber Tasha K of the Cardi B lawsuit, but I want you to know that Tasha K is an awesome YouTuber. Despite all the things that have happened to her, to me, in my opinion, she's an awesome YouTuber. But if you are unfamiliar with her channel, please feel free to peruse the Unwind with Tasha K show after this show. But you know what? Lately, Tasha K has really been grinding. Some say because she has to pay back that $4 million that Cardi B won in the lawsuit. I don't know. But she's been really grinding and going full steam ahead, despite, of course, the amount of hate she has received from other YouTubers. You know what? I guess the statement, heavy is the head that wears the crown, is true. As everyone comes for the person sitting atop the throne. And you know what? When you're atop that throne, it comes with authority, but it comes with a lot of responsibility, and I would say worries as well. Nevertheless, I pray that Tasha K continues to prosper despite the negativity she receives, because she really has good content. When I say good, for example, there was a show that she aired recently that discussed a few topics. However, there was one in particular in which she gave what I consider to be an eye-opening perspective that I feel many women would be afraid to give. Now, we're going to discuss that perspective and more tonight as we pit, if you will, two sisters against each other in a head-to-head battle. And our topic entitled, Sister to Sister, Halle wins, and here's why. All right, so listen, go ahead and tell Lottie Dottie and everybody that HeSpoke Fashion is live, and we will be right back. Stay tuned. Are you ready, AB? All right, let's get it. Hit it. Yeah, in the building. My man. HeSpoke Fashion. HeSpoke Fashion. All right. Again, thank you for joining us. I'm glad that you've taken time out this late night to rock with us and have this conversation. And as I said in my opening monologue, popular YouTuber Tasha K gave a perspective of one of her recently aired live shows that echoed what I have been hearing for quite some time in the fashion arena. So let's take a look at what she said. All right, let's take a look at what she said. And you know what? After we take this look, I'm going to come back and see if you caught exactly what Tasha K said in her rant. All right?
All right, Chloe versus Halle. Very, very beautiful girls, very talented young ladies. But, and I've been watching them, since they was little girls. They on the internet side by side, looking like, salt and pepper, rice and roni, Kel and Oggs, hot and dogs. They listen, and this is no hate. I think they are extremely talented, but I just can't help but notice And, looking statistically over their career when they were together versus separate, that Halle seems to be doing a whole lot better financially than Chloe. How you figure? Big. Anyway, Jasmine talking about you making enough. Okay, so I can't help but notice that Halle seems, is it Halle or Halle? You know, I be messing up people's names. Halle seems to be doing a whole lot better than Chloe. Chloe on stage crying, telling people, F you ain't got to buy my album. Her tickets are on sale for $2. And you try to understand, it's like Halle is very conservative. She look like she could be one of the Obama daughters. Chloe, on the other hand, look like she doesn't have a father in her life, okay? And ironically, these two come from the same parents. And I just can't help but notice, is the whoredom phase, is it oversaturated? Are we seeing too much ass online to the point where it's not special anymore? There's so much so that people are reverting back. Like when I saw Coach Stormy is ass in the camera on her page a second ago with a diaper on to remove the metal she had put up in there. She doing her whole Black China. I said, what's going on with the ass nation and culture? What is going on? I mean, like, she's got good songs. I like Have Mercy. What else? I like Have Mercy, but I just can't understand. I just can't help but notice that Halle has seemed to have found herself. She's dominating. When you get a Disney check, Halle is so strategic. When you get a Disney check, dog, and you a black Disney princess. You doing the soundtrack too. She damn near owned the movie. And your sister on stage, because I couldn't help but notice they did a concert one time and Halle was just standing in front of the microphone and she was just singing and she had on a dress. She was covered up. She looked very conservative. She just wanted you guys to focus on her voice and I guess she wasn't singing strong enough. And I couldn't help but notice that Chloe decided to come up and was like, hold on. And was like, and then Halle was like, and then she was like, yeah. And she's like, I'm like, is this an attention-seeking attempt? Why are you I can't help but her trying to outdo her sister. She playing the Little Mermaid, and you getting ass shots from somebody else's man on camera. Wouldn't be my nigga. Y'all got to pay attention to what's going on here. I know y'all ain't gonna like what I got to say, and I don't give a damn. I really don't, okay? But the proof is in the ass. It's not selling. Halle only showed from here down, here up. This one shows everything from here down. And then you know what the sad part about it is? Everything that she's showing us, we've seen before. It was on Beyonce. It's on them IG models. I said, little girl, what is your man? You acting like you ain't got no daddy in your life. But then when I see her sister come out and she killing it with all her clothes on, using only her voice and her acting skills, she ain't have to bend over. I'm like, Chloe, you gonna need to start reevaluating your life because, sweetie, we have a Beyonce. And there's not gonna be another Beyonce coming till Beyonce's done. And Beyonce being your manager is definitely not gonna let you come for her, and she ain't gonna tell you the truth. She gonna let you get out here, continue to embarrass yourself with everything that she's done before, instead of you finding out exactly who you are and honing in on your true talent, instead of talking about, I'm sexually liberated, but you only had sex with one person in an interview. That's what she said. How you liberated, and you ain't have but one person. You trying to be grown, but you ain't grown. And see what trying to be grown get you? Behind $2 tickets on sale, and your sister's on a princess tour right now. Y'all be mad. Be mad. Okay. All right. Chloe versus.
Wow. Now, listen. Shout out to Tasha K. Tasha K is doing her thing. Now, we've heard what Tasha K had to say. And I want to know if you caught what she said. If you caught what she said, what she put in the comments, what do you think she said that impacts fashion? Well, if you didn't catch it, that's quite all right. Because, well, that's what I'm here for. So let me dissect what it was that I believe was a powerful, pertinent comment concerning what we in the fashion industry, and quite frankly, those of us who simply love fashion, have known for quite some time. And that is simply this. When Tasha K said that Halle is different from Chloe, in that while Halle is chasing her career and being conservative in terms of her fashion. So much so that in Tasha K's words, she could actually be one of the Obama girls. Hey, there she is in the picture with the... Hey, B, you cracked me up. But listen, here's the clincher. When Tasha K asked, is the 304 phase over? You guys know what 304 is by now. And then she said, is it too saturated? And are we seeing too much A? Too much A. This is a family-friendly show. I know she said it. We tried to beep it out as much as possible. But are we seeing too much of that online to the point that it's not special anymore? Now, those are legitimate questions, and frankly, I think that is a perfect segue into our discussion, because we know that it has been far too long since we've addressed this topic. And you know what? Since modern women simply don't want to have this conversation, then fellas, and you know what, those women who consider themselves not to be a modern woman, we're going to start the discussion tonight right here on HeSpoke Fashion Live. Now, for those of you who are new to the show, and I hope that we have some that are new to the platform here at HeSpoke Fashion, but I want to share with you that we use real events to start our discussions concerning fashion, lifestyle, music, and entertainment as it pertains to both men and women. However, our focus has been fine-tuned a bit to target black men specifically. But ladies, we're not going to leave our beautiful butterflies out. So with that being said, when Tasha K mentioned the 304 phase being over, I started, the slow clap, you know what I mean? Because I, for one, have been waiting for this day to arrive, simply for some time now. Now, let me tell you why it is that I've been waiting for this moment. And you probably guessed it. It is because it has become too heavily saturated in our community. And by it, I mean this particular 304 style and fashion sense. It has been really saturated, overly saturated in our community. You know what? There was a time when only a particular type of woman dressed like this. Am I right, fellas? Come on, holla at your boy. There was a time when you knew if someone was dressed in the 304 type of fashion and style, you know it was about to go down. You knew that it wasn't going to take much effort and all those things. But now, no matter what the age, no matter what the size, no matter what the intellect, no matter what the income, no matter what the education, No matter what the personality, everyone from their mother to their grandmother to the non-binary to the trans are all wearing the same thing. And I'm tired, boss. No, for real. I'm tired. Tired of the same old when it comes to women's fashion in our community. Now listen, let me give this disclaimer, AB. I got to give it before I get into anything further. The views expressed during this live stream are solely those of Grogu's. Now back to the show. Seriously, those in the fashion industry have known for quite some time that the tides were turning, especially those in the luxury arena. That is why, I don't know if you've noticed this, but if you haven't noticed it, many of the luxury brands have returned to a time when fashion was less risque. Are you sad? No, seriously. Ask yourself, are you sad that fashion luxury brands are turning back the hands of time, so to speak, if you will, to a time when fashion was less risque? But listen, one thing for certain and two things for sure, there's no greater moment than when you find yourself in terms of your sense of fashion and style. And when Tasha K mentioned that she believed that Halle had found herself, I said to me, how happy must she be? I said to myself, how happy must she be? Listen, guys, I know that we are constantly, let me talk to my brothers for a minute. I know that we're constantly under the pressure to stay true to the latest trends in hopes to not be called corny. That might be you. At one time, it was me. I didn't want to be called corny, but let me tell you, there is nothing more liberating than when you find yourself and then free yourself of what others consider to be fashionable. Halle has done just that. And you know what? That is why, in my humble opinion, Halle is winning. See, she's found out, like many of us, that being an original is easier to do than being a copy. Too many of us have oftentimes found ourselves simply copying the style and fashion sense of those who may idolize or we believe to be better than we are. We've done that. But when you find yourself, let me tell you, it will put you in a place of confidence and peace, and it will boost your self-esteem like never before. When you're confident and comfortable in your own skin, when you find yourself, you'll be confident and you'll be at peace. Now, let me share this with you. There was a time years ago when my mother and I were sitting in Cross Creek Mall there in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Shout out to Vietnam. And we were doing one of our favorite pastimes, and that is our favorite pastime of people watching. Now, listen, have you ever done that? If you've done that, put it in the chat. Put people watching. I've people watched before. It is a great pastime, let me tell you. Well, my mother, you know, she was really, really phenomenal at people watching. You know, she could see someone coming a mile away, right? And she would already be able to tell their story. Now, of course, it was her version of their story, but nonetheless, she was able to do that. Now this time in particular, we were sitting there in the center, so to speak, of the mall area, and my mother started to count the number of young women that were wearing similar outfits. Now, I want to tell you that this was during the time when Janet Miss Jackson, If You're Nasty, her look was very popular. And you would know it by the number of young women wearing black cat suits that day in the mall. AB, did you have? Mind you, it was summertime and it was hot. And my mother said, everyone is purring today. And she said we needed to move before we catch bad luck. Now you'll get that later. Of course, she was joking because my mother was saved to the bone and she did not believe in superstitions. But then after that, we saw her. And by her, I mean, we noticed a young lady who was wonderfully dressed. And you know what? She stuck out like a sore thumb. Listen, hear me close. Listen, guys, hear me close. I also noticed that she was getting a different type of attention from men as well. Why? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that if everyone was wearing a cat suit and she wasn't, that she was getting a different type of attention? Well, the reason is because she was different. And she dared to be different at a time when people were quick to ostracize you. And I believe, you know what, that time, unfortunately, is even the more so right now. That is why it makes it more important, in my opinion, to champion those who dare to be different. Those, just like Halle Bailey. Excuse me, I almost said Halle Berry. She must be talking about me. But listen, Halle Bailey, she's not just doing it, but she is doing it well. Now, just look at this dress she wore to the Met Gala this year. Now, this sheer dress from Gucci looks amazing. Listen, Gucci has some phenomenal clothing and fashion and outfits and dresses. And this dress that she wore looks splendiferous. Shout out to Pastor Nichols for creating that word for us. Splendiferous. And I'm telling you, guess what, guys? She's not pouring out of the dress. You get my drift, right? Things aren't pouring out. There's not too much cleavage. Things aren't pouring out of the dress. And you know, for me, that's better. And fellas, holler at your boy if you agree with me. But it leaves more for the imagination if things are covered. Now, let me say this. Halle is more like a daughter to someone my age. As a matter of fact, my daughters are older than she is. So when I compliment her, I'm only complimenting her looks and her sense of style and fashion, all right? So say it again with me. Style and fashion. That's what I'm complimenting. But again, I agree with Tasha K in that I believe that Halle is winning, and a confident woman is an attractive woman, in my opinion. And when you can rock a look like this, it says to me that you are confident. And look at this look. I mean, now let me ask my young kings out here. Let me ask out here this question. Let me ask you this question. Do you appreciate it when a woman can switch it up and still keep it classy? If you do, what do you think about this look that Halle is rocking? What do you think about this? I mean, this is someone who's showing some versatility. But in that Tasha K segment, Tasha made some comments concerning the contrast between Halle and Chloe. And to me, she nailed it in this sister-to-sister, head-to-head battle. So nothing could be more different than the looks they're given in this photo. Of course, I know that Chloe is the oldest, but she is only 2 years older than Halle, but in this photo, the age is obvious. And for me, it shouldn't be this obvious, right? Because they're only 2 years in age different. But why is this the case? Let's look at a comment from a commenter, a Candace Bost. And she says, I think Chloe is doing what her label is asking of her. They say SEX sells. Well, that's kind of watered down. folks are opt-in for more old school feel now. Even the men, and this is her quote here, her comment, the men is no longer wanting big booty women. It's fading out. Fellas, is that true? Or you just don't want to see it? I just holler at your boy, let me know. But it's fading out, this commenter said. Original is better at every angle. Chloe is not her music. She is a different music, but her label push for something else. I hear what this commenter is saying, Candace is saying, that her label is pushing her in a direction and having her do a certain type of music that is not conducive to who she truly is. But let me ask this question. As the commenter said, does SEX still sell? If Chloe kept her fashion together, as she did in this photo, would her talent outshine that of Halle in this head-to-head battle? Now, that's a question for those of you that are fans of them both. I'm not trying to start any trouble here, but I want to know. In my opinion, and I will further substantiate it shortly, Halle is winning. Here's why. As Tasha K put it, Halle has captured the heart of Disney. And you know, that is no small feat. If it were, then believe you me, there would be a number of artists that would take their talents to Disney. You remember when LeBron James said, I'm taking my talents to Miami. They would take their talents to Disney. But not many could do so because they have presented themselves in a way that unfortunately is not marketable for Disney. As I say so often in this show, you don't get a chance to make a second chance to make a first impression. And many have hurt their brand because of that first impression. So let's just say there's no Disney for them, shall we? Hey, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. Roku, that was you, right? Roku is a fan of Glorilla. And listen, I don't know her music from anything else, but I think that it may take some reinventing if we were to see Glorilla in Disney. But say what you want, because I know some of you are upset right now, but say what you want. When you are in entertainment, you can't afford to leave any money on the table because you don't know when your shelf life will end. But this is the kind of look that I believe gets you Disney and more. That's right. I said Disney and more. And what I mean is that when you dress more conservatively, as Tasha K mentioned, people are able then to focus on things other than your clothing, other than the silhouette of your body, other than the badonkadonk. In Halle's case, the focus is more on her voice and music when she performs rather than it being on the body. But when it comes to Chloe's performance, per Tasha's rant, and as she stated, we have seen this far too many times. Now, I ain't gonna say anything about Beyonce on Beyonce's internet, but you know, Beyonce wasn't really this type of person. Her talent, her gifts, her vocals made her the superstar that she is. But we've seen this so many times from the female rappers to the new R&B divas or R&B singers. The market is simply overly saturated with women who are more liberal when it comes to fashion. I'm telling you, you gotta stay away from all that liberalism. You don't like me. But anyhow, fellas, you feel me on this or no? Because when Tasha K said that while Halle is making Disney dollars focusing on her career, Chloe is taking off her clothes and not selling tickets, I'm saying that it really resonated to me because it is a truth that we have both seen and heard before. We know of other artists that were at the top of their game for a season. And you know what? They were using SEX to sell tickets more so than their talent. And the only time you see them is when you catch them on the show, either Where Are They Now or the show Unsung on TV One. It's a great show, by the way. Unfortunately, many of the people there could have had a better career. One truth concerning fashion that I believe that has always remained true is simply this, that while some go to the far extreme side of the spectrum when it comes to your fashion and your style, the others who have stayed more conservative always have room to grow and oftentimes end up in a better position, whether it be career, relationships, or friendships. Now, that's just simply my opinion. I've seen it far too many times, and you have too. You know, if you start off at the extreme in terms of your fashion, then where do you have to go when you want to change? You can't go any further. So you have to come back to the center. And remember, you've already made a first impression. And that's why I found it to be better, be more advantageous when you simply, you play conservative, right? You play conservative, and then you hit your spots where you go a little bit extreme, but you come right back. You go out to a party, you dress maybe a nightclub, and you dress a little bit more risque, but you come right back. See, because then people won't be able to say for sure that you are the type of person that always dress to the extreme. That's my advice to you. Play it more conservative. You'll like it, and you'll enjoy it even the more. In this case, in the sister-to-sister battle, again, Halle is winning. She is getting the bag, and you know what? She has more upcoming roles that proves to me and to others that if you want staying power, start how you want to finish. You know what? That's something we can all learn to do. You know, one thing that I secretly have hoped for is now, hopefully, I'm still hoping, coming into fruition. And I'm sure that many of you guys have often tired of seeing the same old stuff on IG. I mean, you can hardly scroll. You can hardly, what comes up, it's just too much BBLs and hot girl summer styles. You know, it cannot be healthy on us. And furthermore, I've heard, and I quote, that variety is the spice of life, as they say. I hope that Halle's example, hear me close, will rise to the top as her star continues to soar and to shine. Why? I know you're asking, why am I so heavily invested into Halle's success? You must think I'm getting 10%. I'm not. Who, me? Am I? Well, let this guy share my sentiments, and then I'll come back and I'll explain.
One mic.
Women see what women are doing over here and they start doing it. It's like monkey see, monkey do. So what you're saying is a little out of context. I'm looking at trends. So if women say, we don't do this no more, like, for example, Cardi B or some millionaire says, we ain't doing this no more, other women who aren't Cardi B are going to turn around and say, yeah, I ain't doing it no more either. So that's out of context.
One mic.
Women see.
All right, so that was a popular YouTuber, Instagram, TikTok guru, Mr. Let Go, right? And this is actually an excerpt from a very good podcast called the Lapeef Let's Talk Network. All right, so the Lapeef Network, shout out to Lapeef Jr., JR, shout out to you. And I commend him on this podcast, but nevertheless, Mr. Let Go, if what he's saying is true, then women will align themselves with her conservative style, and we may be on the precipice of the end of BBLs and hot girl summer, at least for a season, if we could hope. But before we celebrate, we gotta hear a rebuttal from the women. We gotta hear it. So as we go into hearing this rebuttal, I want you to keep in mind what Mr. Let Go said. And we're gonna listen to Lucky Marie and hear what she has to say.
That is totally not true. I think you guys are very misinformed about how many women do not follow a Cardi B. You guys use these things because you see things that are trending and they push it in your algorithm to say that this is popular. That is totally not accurate. A woman could be just as well as a good wife and turn off Cardi B when she get out the car. There is definitely a possibility that it does not matter that Cardi B is not the leader of all women today. That is not the truth.
Now you're conflating. You already know I'm not saying Cardi B is a leader.
Then why did you use something realistic?
I said that's out of context.
That is totally not true. I think you guys.
Grogu, we were so close, man. We were so close. Wait 1 second. So AB, is she saying what I think she's saying? Is it true that most women have not patterned their style and fashion sense off of other more popular women?
Bruh.
Now, if she is correct, then Grogu, I mean, we may not see the end as we desire. But if Mr. Let Go is correct and Halle's career continues to rise, then it simply will be up to women to decide whose trend they will follow. I'm hoping it'll be hers. I think the trend has already started, don't you? Now, if you are a fan of the show, if you are a subscriber, listen, if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't hit that like button, go ahead and hit that like button right now and go ahead and subscribe, because we're going to continue to give you this great content. But nevertheless, remember the show. And if you haven't seen that show, go back and watch the show that I did about Black China. I mean Angela Renee White. You do recall that during that show, I showed you that she gave up her OnlyFans after making the site millions of dollars. That's right, she did. It says it right here. She was making millions of dollars on OnlyFans. And you know what? She removed her facial implants, reversed her BBL. I don't know how they do that, but maybe they took something out. She got saved, yes. She gave her heart to Christ, and she received her degree. AB, can you give me some applause for Miss Angela Renee White? Shout out to Angela White. In the building, yeah. Nothing says the return to conservative values and conservative fashion, and nothing says and suggests that it's upon us like this story. And get this. Even Coach Stormy, you know, of the low vibration plate controversy, you guys remember that? Well, even Coach Stormy has taken some steps allegedly to reverse some of the surgeries she said she never had, per Tasha K. That's what Tasha K said. She said she saw some pictures of her reversing that BBL. She had a diaper on. Listen, I think the glow up is real. Wouldn't you say the glow up is real? But in this season, the glow up is conservative. That's right. Hey, but we will see how women decide over the summers. Fellas, you know we'll be watching. If it's another hot girl summer, then we will know that the women have voted and made their decision. God help us. Listen, I have really enjoyed you all tonight. I hope that you've enjoyed the show. I've really enjoyed taking this time and having this conversation. I really hope that you have too. But listen, that's all I have for you tonight. I want you to have a good night, good fashion, and remember, HeSpoke Fashion to you. See you next time. Hope you'll be back to join us. Yeah, in the building. Leave your questions and comments, and remember, this is HeSpoke Fashion, and I really appreciate you all for watching. Please take time to follow us on Facebook, and if you really like this episode, what you think,